Hey Suffield, Connecticut homeowners, will the election impact the housing market? Get some insights in this month's Suffield Housing Market Update. I'm Stephanie Salerno, a local realtor in Suffield, Connecticut, licensed in Connecticut and Massachusetts, here to give you the latest scoop on the housing market. But first, let's take a look at what's been happening in Suffield. In Suffield, for May, 11 homes sold, and that's down 8% from May of 2023. 15 new listings came on the market, and that's actually up 50% from last year. The sales price to list price ratio was 104.5%, and that's down 2% from May of 2023. And the average sale price per square foot was $238, and that's up 17%. May's average sale price was $546,000, and that's up 17% from 2023. And the average days on market was 60, and that is up 62% from 2023. May's month supply of inventory was 2.27 months, and that's actually down 9% from May of 2023 and down from 2.67 months in April of 2024. Now, how that works is 6 months is considered a balanced market. So anything more than 6 months is a buyer's market, and anything less than 6 months is a seller's market. So at 2.27 months, we are very much still in a seller's market. Now, before I go any further, if you're finding this information useful, be sure to hit that subscribe button below for future updates on the Suffield, Connecticut housing market. Okay, so the 2024 presidential election is just a couple months away. As someone who may be considering buying or selling their home, you may be wondering what impact, if any, the elections will have on the housing market. And it's a great question because if you're considering buying or selling, that's a big decision, and you want to understand how your decision may be impacted by what's going on. So the short answer is that historically, the presidential elections have only had a short and minimal and temporary impact on the housing market. So this month, I took a deep dive into the data on what's happened to home sales, prices, and mortgage interest rates throughout these time periods. Okay, so first, home sales. During the month of November, in years where the presidential election has taken place, there is a slight slowdown in home sales. As Ali Wolf, chief economist at Zonda, explains, usually home sales are unchanged compared to a non-election year, with the expectation being November. In an election year, November is slower than normal. This is mostly because some people feel uncertain about making such a big decision in such a pivotal time. However, it's important to note that this slowdown is temporary. Historically, home sales bounce back in December and continue to rise through the following year. In fact, data from the Department of Housing and Urban Development and the National Association of Realtors shows after 9 out of the 11 past presidential elections, home sales went up the next year. This graph shows annual home sales going back to 1978. Each year with a presidential election is noted in blue. The year immediately after each election is green, if existing home sales rose that year. The two orange bars represent the only years when home sales decreased after an election. Okay, so what about home prices? Do they drop during an election year? As residential appraiser and home analyst Ryan Lundquist says, an election year doesn't alter the price trend that is already happening in the market. Home prices are pretty resilient. They typically rise year over year, regardless of the elections. The latest data from NAR shows that 7 out of the last 8 election years, home prices increased the following year. Just like the previous graph, this graph shows election years in blue. The only year when prices declined after an election is in orange. That was during the housing market crash, which was far from a typical year. Today's market is different than it was back then. All the green bars represent when prices rose the following year. So if you're worried about your home losing value because of an election, you can rest easy knowing prices rise after most presidential elections. Okay, so on to mortgage rates. Mortgage rates are important because they affect what your monthly payment will be when you own a home. Looking at the last 11 presidential election years with data from Freddie Mac show that mortgage rates decreased from July to November in 8 of them. Most forecasts expect mortgage rates to ease slightly through the remainder of the year. If they're right, this year will follow the trend of declining rates leading up to most previous elections. And if you're looking to buy a home in the coming months, this could be good news, as lower rates could mean a lower monthly payment. So to my homeowners out there, what does this mean to you and what is the big takeaway? Well, the presidential elections do have some impact on the housing market. The effects are usually small and temporary. The chief economist at Bright MLS says, Historically, the housing market doesn't tend to look very different in a presidential election years compared to other years. And for most buyers and sellers, an election doesn't have a major impact on their plans. While it's natural to feel a little uncertain in an election year, history shows the housing market has remained strong and resilient. For help navigating the market this year, let's connect for more information on these topics or to answer any questions you may have. And worried about how to buy and sell at the same time? It can be done. We work with many sellers just like you and have the proven tools and systems to help you make a seamless transition. Whether you're looking to sell or might want to just discuss what options exist for you, feel free to reach out, as I'm here to help you make the most out of your equity and help you achieve your real estate goals. And if you want to see what your home is worth, click that button below for an instant home equity report. As a local realtor in Suffield, Connecticut, I strive to provide you with the market data you need so you can help navigate this market with confidence. And if you found this information useful, please give us a like and feel free to share it with a friend. All right, this is your June Suffield, Connecticut housing market update. We'll see you next month.